in a lot of other places, you cannot say things to powerful people.
Okay.
But I think it's better that we have a situation where the say you can
If we're talking about the media, let's talk about verification layers. You obviously want to create another revenue stream that's subscription-based. Is verification the way to do that? Because if you have a kind of a situation at the moment where the New York Times doesn't have a verified badge, whereas anyone else who can pay whatever few bucks a month can. Can that be right? Is that what you envisaged when you bought Twitter?
I must confess to some delight in the verified badge. That was great. Anyway, they're still alive and well, so they're doing fine.
But on a serious note, it could flame disinformation again if you have verified accounts that are from anyone who can pay money. They go up to potentially the top of feeds. They get more action on Twitter, and traditional media that may not pay for verification doesn't. Do you see how that could potentially be a driver of disinformation?
Well, I mean, I think the media is a driver of misinformation much more than the media would like to admit that they are.
I mean, that's a different question.
Yeah, but you are sort of saying like who knows best, the average citizen or someone who is a journalist. And I think in a lot of cases is the average citizen that knows more than the journalist. In fact, I mean, very often when I see an article about something that I know a lot about, and I read the article, it's like they get a lot wrong. So the best interpretation is someone who doesn't really understand what's going on in the industry, has only a few facts to play with, has to come up with an article. It's going to be, it's not going to bullseye. So then, like, generally, this is how it makes this. I feel if you read an article that's something you know about, how accurate is that article? Now, imagine that is how essentially all articles are. They're an approximation of what's going on, but not an exact situation. So if somebody is actually, let's say, in the fray, or like an expert in the field, and was actually there, and writes about their experience of being actually there, I think that's in a lot of cases going to be better than the journalist, because the journalist wasn't there.
I think you said the legacy verified blue ticks are going to go next week. There have been a few deadlines on
420.
Yeah, that's a joke.
That
definitely going to happen.
That number will never leave me.
I clearly. It cost you a lot of money.
Well, fortunately, it didn't in the trial.
Well, yeah, right. But for the SEC, right?
Yes, we're going to ask for a refund.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Good luck. Let's move on from that. But blue ticks, in theory, all legacy blue ticks gone next week, and at that point you'll kind of work out whether this is going to sink this year.
Yes.
What's your hunch? I mean, you've obviously.
I think it's goes strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, goes strong just fine.
Okay. What are you looking for in terms of a revenue stream? What are your goals?
Well, I don't think it's like necessarily a giant revenue stream. Even if you have sort of 1 million people that are subscribed for less than $100 a year-ish, that's $100 million. And that's a fairly small revenue stream relative to advertising. What we're really trying to do here with verification is to massively raise the cost of disinformation and bots in general. So my prediction is that if any social media company that does not insist on paid verification will simply be overwhelmed by advanced AI bots. I mean, ChatGPT is essentially a zillion instances of ChatGPT. How would you even know?
Is that really what you want on the platform? Do you want big news organizations being overwhelmed by bots so they have to pay
No, the point is that you won't be.
If you pay. But a lot of organizations have already said they're not going to pay, like the New York Times.
Well, then, that's up to them. They, can't make them pay. It's a small amount of money, so I don't know what their problem is. But we're going to treat everyone equally. So what we're not going to do is say that there's some anointed class of journalists who are the special ones who get to tell everyone what they should think. That it should be up to the people what they think. And even if an article is completely accurate and comprehensive and everything, they're still in writing that article, media is choosing the narrative. They're deciding what to write an article about. So I'm hopeful that this can be more a case of the public choosing the narrative as opposed to the media choosing the narrative. But the media can choose the narrative, at least a combination of the media and the public choosing the narrative. And the public getting to weigh in on stories if they think they should add something to it or got something wrong. And over time, I think if Twitter is the best source of truth, we'll succeed. And if we are not the best source of truth, we will fail.
Someone comes in and offers you $44 billion for Twitter right now. Would you take it?
No.
Would you consider it?
No.
Why?
Well, I think back. It depends on who. I suppose if I was confident that they would pursue, they would rigorously pursue truth, then I guess I would be glad to hand it over to someone else. I don't care about the money really, but I do want to have some source of truth that I can count on, and I hope that's our aspiration, but it's to have a source of truth that you can count on. It's also real time. It's an immediate source of truth that you can count on, and that gets more accurate with time as people comment on particular things.
If you don't care about the money, you could just give it to someone that you think is a good person to run Twitter.
Who do you think that might be?
I'm not the boss of Twitter.
No, but choose. Well, you might as well have an idea.
Who could run Twitter?
Yeah.
Honestly, I have no idea who could run Twitter.
Yeah, it's a hard job.
Okay, let's move on to. You said that you were going to stand down as chief executive, right? Okay.
I can tell you, I'm not the CEO of Twitter. My dog is the CEO of Twitter.
Okay. Have you got any?
It's a great dog.
Other than the dog.
Very alert, and it's hard to get anything by him.
Okay, that's good to know. Other than the dog, have you got any successes in mind?
You've got a black tail turtleneck. What do you need?
Okay. All right. We're going down that route. Steve Jobs or Elizabeth Holmes? Are you making reference to?
I guess more Elizabeth Holmes.
Okay. I forgot the question now.
It's got a husky voice. And black turtleneck.
What were we talking about there? Who would you want? Have you got a successor in mind?
Not yet. Hopefully at some point.
Right. So, because you did say you were going to stand out.
I did stand out.
Okay. All right, let's move on from that then. All right. What about this office? I'm intrigued about this office. You said it was expensive.
I really use it.
Yeah?
Yeah. Well, why can't we be in an office business of the economy?
I think Jack Dorsey kind of recommended doing that, and you kind of ignored it.
Yeah, it was kind of bad, actually.
This office, are you thinking about moving out of San Francisco?
Not yet.
Not yet.
But yeah. No, I mean, this place is nice, and we I kind of like this office building, actually.
Yeah. Okay, so you're not, because I know you've talked about there's been high levels of crime here. You actually said at one point
we should do something about the crime.
Right.
People are dying.
Right.
We should take action.
You've also talked about how potentially, I think you might have been joking, but you could turn this into a homeless shelter. So I guess the reason I'm asking is, you
we tried to turn it into a homeless shelter in the building management group. The building owner rejected it.
You tried to...
Yeah, they wouldn't let us.
Which bits have you tried to turn into a homeless shelter?
We're only using one of the buildings, so the other building would be a homeless shelter.
And you've tried to...
Yeah, we would like to do it right now.
Really?
Yes.
And
you're
being stopped by who?
By the building owner.
They won't let you?
No. In fact, they wouldn't even let us take the W off the sign.
So how were you going to do that?
They were quite
what was your plan for the shelter?
I don't know, we just let people stay there. It's nice.
Right. Okay. I just
They
know
can
that.
bring,
That's
they can bring their stuff, bring their tent, whatever.
right. And it's a roof over their head.
Yeah, it's the building owner lets us, we'll do it.